Okay, so I have said this on other videos and I have to say it for a few days. I know, where's the fancy pants green screen? I got kicked out of my house at the last minute. Nothing bad, my landlord just sold the place. So now I am in between two properties. So just for a few days, we have the magical white screen. You can't do anything with it. But we don't have to worry about that because there are far more exciting things going down in the pro wrestling world, and especially in WWE. Because Triple H is in charge and he is making so many crazy and normal decisions. It's quite clear, my friends, WWE is never going to be the same again. WWE is about to change forever. Why? Here's why. Obviously, you would have seen a lot of this happening with your own eyes, but now it's getting out there into rumor land because this week in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer did indeed report that Triple H has told everyone, look, you can say wrestling, oh my gosh, and you can say wrestler, because if you don't know, those words were banned under Vincent Kennedy McMahon, which is why you have to say sports entertainment and you had to say sports entertainer or superstar. Now, I actually quite like superstar. I think that's one of the buzzwords that WWE did get over. But I could stand here for days and run you off the list of things that you're not allowed to say. For example, belts, wasn't like it. Title shot, you don't like it. Hospital, you don't like it. Blood, violence, aggression. Basically anything that can make a mother go, oh my gosh, I can't believe you threw this in my face, which wouldn't happen, got thrown into the sea, and it made WWE such a strange thing to watch. For example, go and find a non-wrestling fan, sit them down, and wait for someone on the TV to go, oh, I love the WWE universe. They'll go, what does that mean? And you go, oh, it means fans. Well, why don't they just say fans? And you have to go ding and pretend you're going down in an elevator. And I really do think that things like this are important because you have to come across as real. People can see through the phony stuff, and when you are talking like you're a Twitter post, I mean, honestly, it just makes you want to cry. I don't want someone to come into my house and say, Simon, the man, would you like to stroll down the road and walk thy pup? I'm like, bro, just say, do I want to walk my dog? So this is why it's actually bigger than it sounds, especially because there's more of these. Because once again, we turn to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, where Mr. Meltzer said that Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre match they had on SmackDown a few weeks ago, well, a lot of that was unplanned. And if you are a long-term fan, I'm sure you know that if you are a veteran of the business, they pride themselves of getting into that ring and be able to call a match on the fly. WWE didn't like that, they had writers, they wanted a certain structure, so 9 times out of 10, both wrestlers would know exactly what they were doing when they got into the squared circle. And look, they still absolutely smashed it, but if you did watch that good old Donnybrook, or whatever the hell we called it, there was just something freeing about it, because once again, they were just coming up with it as they were going along. Now, not everybody can do this, so you shouldn't just give everybody carte blanche, but we are talking about Drew McIntyre and Sheamus here. I mean, they were brought up together, they've basically known each other for the last 75 years, they have great chemistry, and didn't they knock it out of the park? Yes, they did. Just felt a little bit different from the usual WWE playbook. And if you're going to watch every single show every single week, you need that. It can get a little bit dull. This also ties directly into promos as well, because that's right. If you now show that you have speaking ability, you'll still work with a writer and you'll come up with some kind of script, but you'll also be allowed to go out there and kind of improvise on the spot. And I tell you this, WWE has needed that for ages. Because I don't want to be that guy, as I hate comparing AEW and WWE, because I love them both, even though the crazies don't think I do. But one of the things that Dynamite especially has had is Chris Jericho cutting these kind of promos, Jon Moxley cutting these kind of promos. And who jumped ship recently and all of a sudden became one of the best talking guys in WWE? It was Cody Rhodes, because again, he was just allowed to fly, which means I totally believe what he's saying. If it's quite obvious that somebody is reading a piece of paper in their brain, I'm like, well, I know this is a bunch of baloney. I can see it in your eyes. So ultimately, we are just talking about less buzzwords and hopefully individuals being allowed to show their persona more, which should mean that if you can get over by having a good match, and you can get over by being a good old speaking person, that maybe, just maybe, even if you are 5'10" and 190 pounds, you're gonna get a big push. Because seriously, let's look at the evidence, let's look at the guys that Triple H pushed the most when he was down in NXT. Now he had Karrion Kross, so he's still happy to go, oh my gosh, he's a big guy. But there was Adam Cole, there was Tommaso Ciampa, there was Johnny Gargano. As long as he thinks you have something, he's gonna go, right, let's roll with it. That's why I get pretty damn excited, because it means the whole product is going to be different. And in fact, I am so confident in this that Johnny Gargano probably right now is just sat at home with his wife and baby going, I'm so glad I didn't sign, because whatever money I was being offered before has probably just tripled. Because AEW obviously wants him, and now WWE can say, hey John, if you come back, we'll put you on Raw or SmackDown, and we're not going to treat you like a small guy. We're just gonna treat you like a wrestler. So tying into the title, that's changed. And speaking of AEW as well, this is another one of those shifts. Because you may have noticed when All Out 2022 rolls around, it now has direct competition in the form of an NXT pay-per-view, premium live event. I don't want to get into this too much because I just want successful professional wrestling all over the place. But this kind of does feel like Triple H going, oh yeah? You beat me in the Wednesday Night's War, did you? That's what everybody is saying. Well, now I'm back on my throne and I'm going to smash you. I don't actually mind this all that much because I'm going to watch both. I have the power of streaming and recording devices, but what it may do is this. It may light a fire under WWE where they're like, we have to be the best product from a match point of view and a creative point of view. So not only is All Elite Wrestling hitting on all cylinders, but so is World Wrestling Entertainment. And believe me, as somebody that grew up during the late 90s, that's what you want. When you have two wrestling promotions that are constantly outdoing each other, there's only one winner, and it's you, the WWE Universe. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, the fans. This should also relate in a bigger focus on tag team wrestling, to the point I could see a Gallows and Anderson, and maybe even an FTR returning down the line. And we've already seen what the plan for the women's division is. And if they do get Sasha Banks and Naomi back in the building, that is going to make such a splash. So I mean it, seriously. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth. If you still don't believe that WWE isn't going to change, well, I tell you, I respect your hard-headedness, but I think you're wrong. I'm so up for all this too, it wouldn't even surprise me if from nowhere we got unique sets again. And let's not forget, who is in charge of the damn business now? I told you it was Triple H. Who loved a crazy entrance more than Triple H? Nobody. He had like 72 of them at WrestleMania, and the rumor was always he'd walk in and go, no, not you. Not you, I'm having it because I'm the big man and I want it at Mania. So of course he's going to want that for other people. Again, let's bring Karrion Kross into this situation. He had one of these and it enhanced his character, and it shouldn't just be for one person, two people, three people, four. Everyone should have a unique entrance because it's professional wrestling, and professional wrestling is dumb in the best possible way. That's why I love it. The biggest reason of all though is that Paul Levesque is only going to get one shot of this. I don't think he will drop the ball, but if he did do that, believe you me, the powers that be would remove him quickly, and if he hadn't tried to shape this in his own image, he is totally going to regret it. So whatever he believes to be a good wrestling company is what he's going to do, and that has to be different from Vince McMahon because he's not Vince McMahon, he knows he's not Vince McMahon, and he wants to be a success. And you're only a success if you believe in yourself. But seriously, believe you me, I have talked to enough professional wrestlers who are always like, oh man, I can't even call myself a wrestler and can't even say that I do wrestling if I go to WWE. But that is no longer a problem. I tell you, it's not a forbidden door, but that damn entranceway is open again, and the wrestling business as a whole, I believe, is about to get better than it has been for years. Positive Pete. Now please do leave a comment below and let me know what you think about all of this. Maybe you're like, man, I can't believe they're not going to say local medical facility anymore. And I get it, I'm going to miss that one too. Like the video, share the video and subscribe. Head over to whatculture.com, we will keep you up to date with all of this. Make sure you come follow us on social media, and we have a ton of other videos, some of which actually has the green screen. Damn it, I miss it. My name is Simon for What Culture. Thank you for watching me as always. Apologies once again for the somewhat downbeat production, but I promise you next week things will be back to normal as I'm in a new house, and that's scary. I mean, what is more stressful than moving your entire life up the road? The answer is nothing, maybe death. Goodbye.